Sorry, Delhi is not too much larger, but others are. So we have to, of course, now, number of students we can always increase. There is no issue. Very simple student thing. But increase number of faculty is one of the very big challenges that we face. The second is a related one, which is to create, have a bigger impact of the R&D coming from the institute to the outside. And I'll give one very interesting example. One of the alumnus, Prabhu Goyal, had created a donated fund by giving a donation of $1 million. And after several few years of attempts, finally we all agreed to use his funds to support the development of UAVs on campus. So his funds were used to support 3 groups on campus to develop different kinds of UAVs. This has been going on for 20 years, and already I think next week we will have a UAV which has been entirely developed on campus flying. It has already flown, but this one will fly and go all the way to Lucknow and come back. And this is first of its kind in the country. And there is already an immense amount of interest by defense and other agencies in the UAV which has been developed here. So that has been entirely possible because of this donation and the idea coming from. These are the 2 important things.
As I said, I think student experience is very important. Also because it gives you a good bang for the buck. If on one hand, when we discuss why there are only 2 people out of 100 joining here, does it really matter? Is there really any difference between the rank 200 and 100? All those questions come up. However, I feel that it has created a perception in the country that we are no longer close to number 1. And that perception needs to change, because the reality is, if you look at any parameter of research output, of the curriculum, of the kind of teaching that happens, even placement and so on. If you look at any parameter, Kanpur is doing better than other IITs. But the story is not being told. And I think part of the reason why the story is not being told is that we are not good at marketing, and I think there could be some things we could do. But part of the reason is that people who are students here are not going out. For example, you go to a website like goiit.com, where after the JEE results are out, there are all these 10,000 people are asking, do I do this, do I do that, and so on. You ask a question about IIT Bombay, all the IIT Bombay students will jump on you and give you all the details. IIT Kanpur students won't jump on you. And there is a perception amongst our students, which also, when we had a review in April, a lot of students talked negatively about this institute, that their experience has not been that positive. I think, so these perceptions need to be removed. For example, just give one specific example. I think if you can support our placement office becoming better. Right? So the fact is that our placement office is doing a wonderful job, but there are places where students' perception is it's not doing that well. So if certain improvements can be done in placement office, that's a huge bang for the buck, because it's a very low cost item. So there are many such things. I think I don't want to give examples here, but there are items which will improve the student experience by very low cost, and I would pitch for those things.
Yeah, I do agree with the student experience must improve. Students should feel that. Sorry. Yeah. Students should feel that they are, he or she is getting an overall all-round development. It is not just he's trying to get some grade or CPI or SPI. It's much more than that. I think we should strive to achieve that. That implies probably improving several fronts in several directions, several dimensions. So be it. But I think that should be our key factor. Overall development of the student. And not just overall development of the the student, the students should feel that they are getting overall development. That feeling is also very important.
Yeah, just a couple of takeaways, I guess. I think one takeaway was the fact that faculty recruitment is a priority. And second is probably the institute is not as good as in marketing itself as it wants it to be. So maybe without putting anybody on the spot, I'm sure we have people here from academia. I don't know, Sanjeev Arora? Sorry to put you on the spot. But would you like to kind of share, what do you think from a US academician's perspective, what are the bottlenecks in their mind wanting to come back and teach in a place like IIT?
Pass the mic.
Is there a project?
Well, I think the reasons I hear are low salary, high workloads, not a lot of grad students. So that's what they're used to in the US, right? And those things are not quite there in India.
Yeah, and the other thing is, anybody here who's in the world of PR or marketing who can give some perspectives as to what the institute can do and being able to better market itself. I mean, the very fact that IIT Kanpur was the highest number of 1 crore plus students who got it, it should have been out in the press, for example. So, anybody else who wants to kind of pitch in? Makshu? Sorry, Praveen, you want to say something?
Yeah, I certainly agree the perception and marketing part of it. That's an area where I think something needs to be done. Because I think, let's take an example of our batch. Because the batch, I think the history of all IITs has the maximum number of people from the first 100 coming to IIT Kanpur. And nobody knows all of it. And probably nobody will ever know. Right? This is a powerful marketing tool that there is no other IIT. Right? The perception is just the opposite. I mean, although it was 25 years ago, but I think it can be capitalized in a very effective way. And I think we haven't done any effort in trying to get the word out. And you know, so I think I see tremendous amount of marketing potential to change that perception. And I'm sorry to kind of put the marketing plug here, but I welcome all of you to see the documentary in the evening. That's an attempt to kind of get some buzz out there. And there's a lot of skepticism out there. I mean, वो शादी वाला वीडियो देखने कौन आएगा? So I'm telling you, it's not a शादी वाला video. We have hired a professional movie maker, and hopefully, you know, it will be a good entertainment. And because you got to have some masala to be able to really catch attention. And so I think I encourage all of you to watch the movie, and if you like it, you know, like it on Facebook, like it on LinkedIn, get the word out there. Maybe, you know, I mean, this is a very small drop in the bucket, but you know, I mean, some fascinating things are happening around ITK brand, and the word goes about it. And you know, so I think I have built better appreciation of more understand. I mean, the value of marketing after having built a product. You know, jungle में more नाचा किसने देखा? So unless you get good at marketing, so I think I would highly support for any brand building marketing initiative that are batch funds, because I think that will have an immediate impact. Though it doesn't materially change anything, but you know, in the real life, perception is reality.
If you observe something, you just excel at marketing. So that should be the example to follow. So I think I have, to add on to that, we have some excellent, you know, accomplishments and accomplished people like Mahindra sitting here. And I don't know if you have marketed the achievements of Professor Mahindra enough.
At the same time, I have seen excellent efforts by Professor Sanghi on Facebook on what IIT Kanpur does, and I'm a serious follower of this blog. And I think these are two individuals we can take examples from, and we should take it to the next level. Right? Kind of creating stories around how our students are produced international level, award-winning kind of papers or award-winning kind of achievements. And also, at the same time, one point which constantly hits us is this mutual contradiction between the 1 crore salary versus research. This is something, I don't know whether, I think we should do both, but not one at the cost of the other. That's something which hurts people, especially who want to aspire to see this organization as the market research institution, the Harvard or the Stanford of tomorrow. I think that cannot be achieved by concentrating on the 1 crore salary. Please, I think we should put equal amount of stress on doing anything about the brand, but not necessarily branding the wrong things. I don't think branding 1 crore salaries and attracting students is a sustainable model for taking IIT Kanpur to, as I said, to the Stanford ecosystem. So I think
I don't think we should stop that. We should add something to it. And I'll give an example. We have the world's 2 most respected researchers in this room right now, who are the most accomplished in the field of mathematics and computer science, and I don't think anybody knows about it. The world at large, right? So this is an example of marketing potentials that is wasted.
I just wanted to name those 2 individuals, Professor Mani Agarwal and Professor Sanjeev Arora. They have won some of the highest awards in the computer science area and maths area.
Another simple suggestion is that today all the institutes are global, and if you take Harvard, Stanford, they are presented. They have chapters of institutes or courses they offer in different locations, and that's the way the brand gets the attraction towards the brand, or the training, that course that you offer here, and reaches out to multiple people. Another suggestion is IITK chapter opens in multiple locations. I don't know that such thing is already there, but if that can be done, I think the brand promotion becomes much more relevant. And also, taking just beyond some of the courses in the PhDs or in the masters are, certain things can be abstracted and put as a short-term courses which can be relevant to some of the industries. If that can be done, again the marketing and the brand promotion happens along with academic research.
How about IITK Shanghai?
Absolutely, we are happy to support.
Just a point on the 1 crore, not to belabor a point here. I think the 1 crore is you can really cause an effect. It's not a surprise that the Stanfords and MITs and Harvards and Yales of the world also get one of the best salary individuals. It's just an effect, it's not the cause. You're absolutely right, we should model one with the other. The salaries will happen, but if we have achieved it, we should use that to market the fact. By the way, the reason why they're getting 1 crore salaries is because we have the best students and the best research and the best everything else, right? Because it's not that the reason these guys are giving these kind of salaries because they probably find the best talent here. So it's marketing. And the point about begging bowl, I think 75% of the people in this room are in the business of the begging bowl in that industry. They're always out there in the begging bowl with something or the other, raising funds or raising clients or raising whatever, right? So I think it's a very key component of our skill set that we acquire, and we have to, be shameless about it. I know of a lot of students, and a lot of you have gotten, degrees abroad. The marketing panache of the alumni association of the institutes in the West is something that we need to, emulate here as well. We might have spent 4 years there, maybe a year or 2 in these US universities, but I can guarantee you, the alumni association of those institutes badger us more for money than, let's say, IIT Kanpur does. Two of us ask the question, have a question in our mind, how much should we give, what is enough, and there are various parameters to it, and I think one should, there's a friend of mine who is the founder of Give India who says it's not giving unless it hurts, so you should keep that in mind. But at the same time, everybody has their own personal preferences and requirements and obligations. So there are two aspects to it. One is top down, one is bottom up. So I did a spreadsheet analysis which I sent to Harvard. If your child was in grade 1 today in India, the cost of education roughly between grade 1 to grade 12, undergrad degree and a postgraduate degree in India is roughly $50,000. Give or take. It could be less in some places. And if it's kind of higher end of the spectrum, it's probably that. If you do the same analysis in the US, it's probably going to be $500,000, right? So the difference of roughly $450,000, we have to keep in mind that we got an education reasonably free. In fact, our batch is the batch was at the cusp because India hadn't opened up till 1991. Our cost of education was practically free compared to what I want to be kind of today. And by the time we finished our post-graduation, etc., India had taken off, so salaries had started taking off. So we are the biggest beneficiary, sort of India opening up. Right? So as a result, I think the onus is on us to get that even in bigger size. So the reason for the comparison between the 450 and 50,000 is the $400,000 is the benefit Indian society is giving to us compared to a peer in the US. And unless we give that back in some form back to society at large over our lifetime, we'll be impoverishing our own country, nothing else. Right? So that's something that one needs to keep in mind. But Raghu and Praveen came up with another way of thinking about how much to give. I think it's a great way. We spent 25 years away from IIT. If we can give even for a one-day salary for each other year, which is roughly a month's salary, back to the institute, I think it's a good start. I think Praveen said let's put a floor of 1 crore. I think 1 crore is low. It should be higher as an institute, as a batch. So with that in mind, if you do the math at your own convenience, before you fill out the form that Praveen has put up, it would give you a good starting point, and then let's try to better from there.
So, did you, just a show of hands, did you feel that you got a reasonably good view of what the deans are thinking in terms of what has happened? Okay, good. So, in terms of next steps, as we said yesterday, we are going to send out a survey with all the ideas. I also, based on your feedback yesterday, said, well, let's take some of these hot topics like the bathrooms and make sure that they're reflected in the thing, because it was strongly felt. There were some other good ideas that came out later on, such as a telepresence system for helping interviews and so on. So there were some very, very good items there. That survey will go out today. Bhagavad has set up the SSID and yes, okay.
We heard about internal basketball court, for example.
Yeah.
Is that going to be added to the list?
No, I will, so what time? So you can assume by 4 o'clock all these ideas will be synthesized and put in there.
It would also be good if we could put, for example, indoor basketball court, what's the overall end-to-end cost so that it can be all...
So what I'm going to insist is this time around, I'm not going to have all the numbers there and all the... I think we should simply indicate our preferences and converge rapidly on something that is close enough, and then we can get the details and look at execution. There are about 18 ideas already, plus if we add 4 or 5 more that we heard right now for 22 ideas, it's far too many to go and start doing an investigation. I feel reasonably confident that no matter what these, based on the student presentations yesterday, that we have 120 people here today. We set a record. We can easily raise the money to do whatever we put our mind to on that list. We just have to put our mind to it, because neither I nor any of you should simply put your money on things that you don't believe in. Let's get the things that we're commonly passionate about. The money will follow. That's my opinion.
There was one thing that I
Hi, yeah. There's one thing that I heard from the deans that was striking. It's about the student perception. Quite honestly, the one thing that really kills is your own students talking negatively about you. Whatever you do, unless we solve that problem, the market perception cannot improve. So I think many of us are here from corporate world, right? The one thing in the corporate world we measure called engagement. And there's a whole process around it, and we do it very, very rigorously. In fact, it is a major attraction feature for new young recruits to say the employee workforce is engaged to that percentage. And quite honestly, directly translate, say 100 minus engagement is your attention score. Right? That's how industry believes it. So industry has perfected that art. Right? It's a low-hanging fruit. It requires participation, and it's very, very well driven. So I wonder whether there's a need to sort of bring that into IIT Kanpur and say, hey, can we just figure out how to do engagement activities? So I don't know what the group thinks, but I'm sure you've seen this before. You've done and quite a few of us are from HR also, right? Who have run directors of HR and others. And I think maybe that is a significant low-hanging fruit that we can address from the corporate side.
Yeah, I think yesterday the Project Saraswati sessions, which you saw 8 or 9 from different sectors, let's say education, entrepreneurship, and all that was essentially we bring. When I say something to the kids, they don't listen. But when you will come as part of Project Saraswati to donate one day, they will listen to you. And that certainly is part of engagement what we have suggested. And it is, trust me, when I tell them attend class or get up early in the morning or do the projects on time, they will not do it. But when an alumni comes, yes, they are there at 11 o'clock, all of them are there. And you saw one picture where the house was full. So it is very much there.
In general, by the way, there's a theme here. Bhagat asked this question yesterday. Should we contribute, which is more important, money or time or this thing? And it was a fake choice, but I think the point that Bhagat was trying to make, because I speak with him on this topic a lot, is one thing we undervalue is our time. Our time matters a lot. We come with a lot of marketing expertise in this room. We come with a lot of HR expertise. We have ideas like this. This doesn't take too much of our time to institute into a survey or get going. So let's not underestimate, even though the process that we're driving right now in terms of raising the money and so on sounds money focused. Praveen has exhorted us not to think solely in terms of money. The time we put in is immensely valuable, and it counts for much more. So anyway, we have been running late all morning. I want to thank the deans for giving their opinions. From the show of hands, it looks like we reasonably comprehend what we would like to achieve. So we are going to take this under advisement, and we have our own little bit of goat herding to do at this point to get to a consensus, which we will do. Please.
So actually, I just wanted to talk about something that we are doing in terms of, I'm the Dean of Professional Academics. We are doing something more interesting than what we used to do 25 years ago. And since there is no other session, if I can take this 2 minutes of yours. From 2011 onwards, we have completely revamped our curriculum. Now, the main problem that we used to face with our students was that after JEE, they will select the branch based on JEE rank, based on the society pressure, not based on their interest. But after 1 or 2 years, they will say, I wish I was doing something else. So now we have what is probably very common in US universities, minor, second major, and a dual degree. These things are allowed to all undergraduate students. A minor is roughly 3 to 4 courses in another discipline. The second major is about 8 to 10 courses or 11 courses in another discipline, which may take actually more than 4 years. And a second degree, of course, you have a full-fledged degree in the other discipline. Or in fact, you can also do an undergraduate degree and a postgraduate degree roughly in about 5 years. So you can do a BTech and MTech, or you could do a BTech and an MSc in physics. So I know from my batch, many people, after doing BTech, went to physics. So that we are saying is possible now to do right here, do BTech in computer science and MSc in physics in about 5 to 5.5 years. So all these options, in fact, the second degree could be from any discipline, including MBA, including Master of Design, and so on. So that kind of flexibility we have provided in our curriculum. The number of electives is huge now. The number of compulsory courses is very small. So in fact, what we are saying is you plan your own degree. Right? So if somebody comes to computer science department, there are probably 8 or 9 courses which are compulsory. Everything else is optional or elective, not optional, elective. So I think that kind of flexibility no other IIT offers as of now. And I thought I think this is something very major that we have done.
Ministry sanction out so that students do not anticipate any uncertainty given certain recent fiascos?
IITs don't need anybody's approval for anything. Our Senate is the highest body for all academic decisions.
I only wish we had it that time also.
And so we now have new programs which we didn't have 25 years ago, like economics. We do take admissions in Bachelor of Science in Economics. We also have Master of Design, as I just said. We have a program on environment engineering. We have a program on biology, biological sciences and bioengineering. So there are several new departments that have come up in the last 25 years. They're very interesting programs that we run now.
Let's give a big hand to the deans for staying late and we're having fun.
Okay, done.
My dream is to fly. तो सर उधर ही खड़ा है ना, मना करे ना। कौन जा रहा है? सर आप इधर नहीं हमारा हो गया। क्या होता है? नहीं वो सब में बेटे को ग्लाइडिंग कराना था वहाँ। एक आएगा फिर दूसरा आएगा फिर तीसरा आएगा, करते करते वो बहुत अभी हम आएंगे तो होता है हर लोगों को भी कराना है तो वो भी जाए साइकोलॉजिकल भी हम बस करा कैसा है हाँ बड़े जल्दी ताकत फोटो खींचे वीडियो थैंक यू। जो
एलिना उठो।
अभी भी है कहाँ गया वो?
हाँ तो वैसे उसके पीछे वाला क्या? मैं आगे वाली का। लैंडिंग ऐसे करना है। अभी 9th चल रहा है।
People living there.
Yeah.
वो ठीक कर लिया इतना बढ़िया
देखियो बधाई बधाई कंग्रेचुलेशन
Chai time. So, but then you did not.
अच्छा मुझे याद नहीं वापसी का घुमा है हॉस्टल रूम देखा
हॉस्टल रूम हाँ देखा है ऑल्टो मतलब वो यार बंद था तो बाहर से ही दिखा मैंने फोटो
You're your tour guide. Yeah. Go ahead and take
तो देश में थे ना विदेश में थे घर के ना घाट में
इनका फिल्म ले लो ये बहुत मिस कर रहे हैं
उदास है चित्र नहीं आया
lighting you know you have a grid on your face
हेलो
फ्रंट रो सीट है ना
okay there's a main movie and then there's addendum extra
थोड़ा फास्ट है
of teaching kids to get into the JEE system. So, if everybody can take a seat, we don't have an informal chat. Some of the perspectives that you might get from them might differ from what we heard in the morning, and it will probably give us a better idea of what we should do. So, K.C. Joshi, Anupam Shukla,
Makul Goswami.
And Makul Goswami, can you please come to the front?
Of IIT Kanpur. और ठीक है 35 सालों से जो मैं खुद नहीं कर पाया लेकिन हाँ मुझे उसका बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस है हेलो मैंने IIT JEE के बच्चों को जो मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ आज तो लेकिन मैंने एक बात देखी कि और मैंने उसे बहुत जैसे IIT कानपुर जो IIT एक ऐसा सिटी है कानपुर एक ऐसा सिटी है जहाँ स्टूडेंट डोंट वांट टू कम and it's also.
So what has changed? So even then, people used to still come, although the city was still the same. So as a cabinet, I think Inder Mohan has different program planned out. We will continue with this later on after dinner. So we will stop right here because we need to start the other program, but we'll continue this discussion after dinner. So this is food for thought to all of us.
समर में छुट्टी में जो भी है आप कर सकते हैं ये भी फैक्टर्स हैं
Okay.
Anybody like sample of what it was to record movies? Some of you were involved, some of you were not involved. So the way I look at it is, there are, all of us are like wine bottles in a cellar. And Ronnie, little Roy.
Talk a little bit about my life, and some of you already know it. It's been an interesting life, full of ups and downs, and I can probably guarantee you that I've had more downs and viciousness of downs and ups.
And from Kanpur, wherever you go, whether you quit the job or you get thrown out of the job, you will have a fallback option. घर में रोजी रोटी की समस्या नहीं होगी. And this gives you strength. Then you can stand up to politicians, to your seniors. You do what you think is correct. You are not forced to take a decision simply because they think it's so. If you are not convinced, say it and stick to it. And this has been possible simply because of my confidence in the IIT brand. This gave me the strength. I already mentioned there were two significant projects, physical projects, which I can say I've been gratified to be associated with. One is Telhara excavation. Last time some of you were in Rajgir and said, if you get an opportunity, please go there. It's a 2,000-year-old university, 35 kilometers north of Rajgir. In the last 2 years as Secretary Art, Culture and Youth, this site was extensively excavated. Some very, very important artifacts have. This will be thrown open to public somewhere in July, that's the target. This is a 600 crore project, very ambitious project, but it's very gratifying. 5 years. I'll say, in 25 वर्षों में मैंने एक घरौंदा बनाया है. इस घरौंदे में तिनके जो आपने बटोरे हैं पिछले 25 वर्षों में ये रिश्तों के.
Thank you, Chanchal. Thing to share. And I hope you'll forgive me because we're all together. So, why look far away from where I am? So, I decided to do a world premiere of a trailer of a movie today for you. Absolutely world premiere. So, I was the producer. And the second thing is, thanks to Arcade, I got introduced to this Diwali Dhamaka in IIT जो करते हैं Bay Area में. एक skit type होना चाहिए. It should not be a serious movie. It should have no emotional content in it. So anyway, I will show you so that nobody can stop me. Bhagat, please stay away. The world premiere. I hope it plays.
economics पढ़ के कौन सा कद्दू में तीर मार लिए. So that is exactly the kind of pushback most of you had heard when you were going through some of your own options, and that limited those options in those years. Today those options are less interesting, but in fact when I looked at the surveys just from a year ago, actually no, 2 months ago, about the top 2 professions, they still happen to be the first and the last ones. So nothing much has changed in the last 25 years in terms of the kind of things people want to do back in India, except that number 2 is now being a cricketer. So that's the only thing that has been added. So 28 years ago, I thought I'd hit a lottery. I came here, and in the first 2 weeks, the entire life changed. The first thing I met was Mr. Anand Berry. I don't know how many people you know Anand Berry, who graduated in 1989. So this is a very interesting introduction. It happened in the first hour I entered the school, and I will leave it at that. Today he's a very nice, has a wonderful opportunity in working in Sydney. Many of you remember our physics quiz. Many of them it was a great lever for most of us. That clearly for me, and that clearly.
86 to 1990. You remember that? 86 to 90 is what is my whole number. 86290. I realized this 25 years later. Do you know that that means my mathematical ability? Coming from the state of Ramanujan, my mathematical ability is so poor. So you can see what I would have done in IIT Kanpur. Hey, what are you talking? Old man, do not talk anything about me. I'm the guy who lived in the IIT Kanpur. I'm the guy who learned the Hindi. मैं हिंदी बोलता था. तुम बोल सकते हो क्या? Hey, impulsive young man, don't talk about this. मैं हिंदी सीखा हूँ, हिंदी अभ्यास किया. मैं देखने में तमिल का टाइगर, बोलने में चाइनीज ड्रैगन, लेकिन दिल में तो हिंदुस्तानी. अरे वाह 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 वाह, तुमने बहुत सेंटी डायलॉग बोल दिया यार. सेंटी डायलॉग बोल दिया. और क्या बोलना चाहते हो? You know what? In this time, this earth has moved around the sun 24 times. The 7 trillion cells in the body has changed 3 times. But the Bharatiya Pratyogik Samasthan Kanpur is always etched in my memory. Do you know that? Yeah, I know. You were the guy that were running around in the loogies there during the time, and people talked about you in a loogie man. Do you know that? Yeah. So what else you want to tell to these people out here? Hey, you know, but you didn't study anything beyond BTech. तुमने क्या ज्ञान दे रहे हो? फुद्दे वाला टाइप ऑफ ज्ञान दे रहे हो अभी?